Okay.
I'm demoing the Brieftons Vertico, and this is the way the unit looks after I've washed it. I've done a fast wash to make sure that all industrial agents and things are off. The first thing that I do is very strongly press down on the 3 suction pads. These are pretty strong. And then I enclose or encase the dish. I have the blade currently set on 1, and so what I'm going to do is demonstrate. Before that, I want to show you that the slicing base has nice concentric circles, and this is really helpful for when you insert or put one of the foods under the presser. It's easier to align this, and then you have a little plastic nib in the center which should centralize this. So I'm going to try to place this in a centralized position, and then I'm going to press firmly on the presser foot. It's on 1, and I'm going to use 2 fingers here to help guide. Really smooth. And a good safety feature is that the Vertico automatically shuts off to protect the presser. So we have a little bit of this. I'll chop it up and I'll use this. What comes out of the dish, and there's some overspill, are gorgeous, gorgeous bits of onion. And it looks like this. And oftentimes I'll take the kitchen scissors and I'll cut some of this down. So if I want to deal with this right now before this gets cooked, I can take the kitchen scissors and just chop it down to something that's manageable. But again, this is a large onion that has been halved, and I've spiralized on blade 1. Now underneath this is a little bit of stir fry. We use stir fry with a lot of our foods. Now the second thing I'm going to spiralize, and we have to be very careful to have our hands dry when we use this knob. Easy to pull out and then do number 4. Some of the comments have said that it's a little bit difficult and tricky to use the knob. I think it will lighten up later on after you use it. I've got 2 different types of squash. First is zucchini. This is again on 4, and it's aligned within the concentric circles, and we're going to see what it does here. Looks like it's spiraling a little bit. And if it gets off a little bit, sometimes I stop it and realign it, but I think this is going to be okay. Again, it stops as a safety, which is really good. And this is what comes out in the end, beautifully spiralized zucchinis. I'll just pop this in the dish here. And at this point, I've got some leftovers, and I'll deal with this in a minute. At this point, what I'm going to do is show you how easy this is to wash. What I do is I put this, and we'll cut this up later. We'll put this on blade 1. And this is how you remove the pads. You stick a fingernail under each pad and it will pop up. This is what it looks like down at the bottom. And I just take it to sink, and I use the enclosed brush, which is absolutely brilliant. You need to have this brush to clean off all the bits because they get entrapped. And you can see underneath here how much they accumulate and get trapped. So the brush is great. Now what's really a good thing to do is use some baking soda on the brush, especially for when you use vegetables that stain, like sweet potato. And if you do this daily, it should stay nice and white. I also, just to be careful, put a little bit of dish soap on here. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention is when I first got this, the rod was a little bit difficult to move up and down. And what I did is I just took a little bit of olive oil, rubbed it up and down, and the shaft is now extremely easy to move up and down. So what I do at this point is simply put it in the dish rack and I air dry. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cook this, but I've added stir fry because we eat this a lot. I've added some frozen spinach, and then I use a variety of Mediterranean spices, turmeric, garlic, diced sun-dried tomatoes, and sometimes I throw in a pesto. Other times I'll throw in Italian salad dressing, and I will put this in the microwave for about 12 minutes. So I invite you to my house for lunch in 12 minutes. While this was cooking, I mixed up some crushed garlic, some crushed fresh pineapple, and some turmeric, which I'll add right now. I like to add the pineapple after the food cooks to keep the nutrients inside. What I also like to do is add, many times, an extra condiment. Some of these are wonderful. These are like tomato pastos. So I'm going to put a little bit of this inside here to flavor it up. And oftentimes I may put in a basil pesto, which is good as well. So right now I'm going to stir this up. Look at the way that the onions have beautifully, beautifully cooked. Now, I originally said I was going to cook this for about 12 minutes. I actually have cooked it slightly longer, 15 minutes, just to make sure that we can get these onions to be perfectly like angel hair pasta. So here we go. Let's see what this looks like. Notice when I pick up the onions, the onions look like this. This is an absolutely beautiful example of fork twirlable onions from using the Vertico. I love the Vertico, and I know you will too. Come on over to my house for lunch. I've made plenty for everybody. Thank you.